Hey, this is Anthony, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Um, Last day we had a lot of high winds where we live, and so the power was going off. And for some people who had electric stoves, it makes it very difficult to cook or to take a shower, especially if you have an electric hot water heater and if the power is off for any long range. But some people, they don't have a backup way, whether it's going to be a kind of like a grid down situation or just a temporary loss of power or maybe even a hack. So this stove here, this is one of the things I got. I got this off Temu. It was only about $15. And on that site, sometimes you can get things for free. So it's a good place to find some small prepping items without spending a lot of money. And then the prices do vary. So sometimes how you catch it, and with the new tariffs going up, who knows? But it's all part of the game. But I do recommend that you have more than one way to cook at your house if you have all electric. And especially in an emergency situation, does your barbecuer, do you have a 5-gallon tank? Or are you keeping extra 5-gallon tanks on propane? What can you do to be able to prepare a meal for your family? And also, how easy is it going to be for what size the family is? Some of the ways, the best way to look at being either not a long-term grid down, but just even a temporary power outage, but a combination of things of be ready. I mean, we've had a lot of bad weather and different things that have an effect on our world. And in that situation, whether it closes stores, supply chains, or lack of certain products, or eggs, chickens, whatever it is, what do you have? In other words, one of the best ways to prepare for a bad weather event or anything is, let's pretend you're going to go camping. And if you go on this camping trip, what do you need? And on this camping trip, there's no store nearby. You can't go buy whatever you forget. You have to have everything you need to get past if power off for a day, 2 weeks, whatever it's going to take. But to try to be ready for the unexpected. And in that, the best way for your family is, what would it be like to go camping? And I actually suggest maybe this summer is, in campgrounds, if you can avoid them, but in one way it'll still help because you don't have any internet, no phones, no electricity. What would you do? Because you're going to be camping. So basically, in a situation, if you're out without power or some things go bad, systems get hacked and they go down, basically you're camping. That's what you're doing. You're going to be camping in your home. How do I keep cool? How do I keep warm? And on some of those things, I'm going to touch kind of from our angle. But anyway, here's this little stove. And it's very small, compact, comes in a plastic box. Probably not the highest quality in the world, but it opens up. It runs off of butane, and you can pick these up. They store very well at Walmart or some other places. And anyway, that just goes in there. There's a little piece of metal here. It falls down in the groove of this cylinder. And over here, this button, it's going to lock it in. And once that's locked in, you can close that. And then you can easily just flip this. It's got like a spark thing in there, so there we go. And one of the things about these stoves is this one's very nice, but some stoves don't always have it. I happen to have a pot here. Anyway, it fits on there really nice. It's not going to slide off, but you want to watch that. And now what happens is if I turn this stove off, the thing that locks in right here, that locks in the butane cylinder, is now ready to come out. It's not going to leak any butane. So these things easily come out, go in. Very nice. It's easy to store. You don't have to worry about it spilling in your box or getting free. It is fuel under pressure though. So it's not a bad little stove for whatever you need to do, and it's a good little backup. And it's something that in this you could probably put under your bed or whatever you need to do to keep it hid. Even this, I don't know some apartments might not allow it, but this is a very compact little stove that you could put in an apartment if you needed to, and you're without power and you needed to heat something up. And these cylinders, they come in like a 4-pack a lot of times, but I'm sure you can buy just one. And it does have a cap that comes with it and to protect it. But depending on the family, sometimes you need the big quick stoves. I'll show you some of those later on. I have quite a collection. And this is, if you have an aluminum pan, what kind of pans do you have? Not all pans are created equally for especially cooking on an open flame. Some pans, you know, like, especially if you end up going outdoors. I prefer cast iron, but cast iron's kind of heavy. And I like something that's stainless steel. I want something that's not made of aluminum. I like to avoid aluminum. But one of the things I do is I look on either Facebook Marketplace or some other marketplace or different ones, or go to yard sales. But I like to get restaurant pans because they are designed for heavy duty, commercial use. And to me, they're some of the better pans. They're more expensive and they come really big. But a lot of times I'm cooking for large groups, and those are the type of pans I like. And this one here, this is an off-the-shelf one. It's more stainless. It's not aluminum, but you got to look at it. I don't like things with Teflon coating, especially if I'm going camping or I'm out in the woods somewhere. I don't like it to scrape off, and I don't want to have to be cautious how I treat the pan. I like something that's going to be ready and tough. Especially if I'm going camping or just in any situation. You might look at this stuff and it might be really pretty and nice in the house, but in a situation or emergency situation, it might not be ideal for cooking over an open flame. A lot of times too, you got to watch out certain pans because they have plastic handles. They don't have a metal handle. Let's say you had to cook over a campfire. Is there anything on that pan that's going to melt, or anything you can't always adjust a campfire when you're cooking? You can control the amount of fuel you're putting on it, so it can either be high or low, or you can even cook on coals if you're using a Dutch oven. But you have to learn these skills and these abilities and what is the proper equipment. Don't sit there. Kent Rollins, Cowboy Cooking. He's on YouTube. He's awesome. I really enjoy listening to him. But he's got a lot of great recipes, and he does chuck wagon cooking. I've watched hundreds of his videos. And so the best thing to do is gather information, learn how, but don't wait till the day that you need a skill to try a skill. You need to develop it earlier. And some people, it's like if you're going from an electric stove to a gas stove, there's a temperature difference. And you have to learn. There's kind of a skill in cooking over an open flame compared to just a regular stove. And if you haven't had the practice, you need to practice. Put it out on your patio, maybe out in the yard, something. Go camping, but learn how to cook on something that has flames. Maybe even learn how to cook on an open fire with a Dutch oven. Look up some recipes. Develop the skills now before you need them. So in kind of like a grid down or maybe just a temporary power outage, that you are more than ready, you have the skills, and you know how to overcome these things and be the winner that God's called you to be. Thank you for watching in Jesus' name.